Hello, everyone. This is a short but effective video on CPR, short for cut, pour, remedy. So have you ever tried to get a point across, but been frustrated when the person on the receiving end didn't understand? Have you ever felt misunderstood in general, whether it be in a personal situation, professional situation, etc.? How frustrating was that? When you were trying to explain yourself, trying to explain something, but the other person was hearing it in a different way. What I did just there was called CPR. Now, what if I could tell you that with some basic tools, you would be able to help make sure that from here on out, people understood you and that you communicated in the way that you wanted to be understood. So CPR stands for cut, pour, remedy. The example that I just gave you, I expressed the problem. I cut open the wound. We've all been there before where we felt misunderstood. We felt like people didn't understand what we were trying to explain to them. I poured on the salt. How did that feel? How frustrating was that? Made you go deeper into those emotions of frustration. And then I proposed the solution. Remedy. I gave the remedy. What if I could share some tips on how to help make sure that that never happened again, how to alleviate that frustration of being misunderstood? CPR, in my experience, is one of the most effective ways to help get a point across, to help teach a part, to help sell something. It's a tool that we can use in basically all areas of life. So to go a little bit deeper into the philosophy behind it, the cut part of CPR is when we are essentially helping people identify a problem in their life. So we're identifying the wound, we're cutting it open for them. So the way you can do this, the two main ways are through a rhetorical question, something that makes them think about it. An actual question, if it's a speech, you want to do rhetorical because you're not usually talking to one person one-on-one. But if you're in a selling situation, one-on-one or a small group setting, you can do an actual question, have somebody answer it. Just ask them about their problems. Or if you don't want to do a question, you can actually tell a relatable story. So whether you're in a selling situation or a big group speech or a small group speech or a one-on-one conversation, you can tell a story that you have a feeling the other person will relate with. It can be a personal story or a third-party story. So let's use an example of, let's say you're talking with a college student about the importance of schedule, and you can tell a story. I remember when I was in college, there were some moments where it seemed like so much piled up on my plate and I got so far behind. And it was like the more I got behind, the less I was able to do. I was less effective. I felt like I got stuck and I just kept getting farther and farther behind. Have you ever felt that way? Do you relate with that at all? And you can ask them a connecting question. Do you know what I'm talking about? So whether it's through a personal third-party story or through an actual rhetorical question, you want to help people identify with the problem. Once you've cut open the wound, the pour is real simple. You just help them dive deeper into the pain. How did you feel last time you got far behind? When was the last time you felt too far behind? When was the last time you felt overwhelmed up to your eyeballs in work? Tell me about that. The point is you ask questions to dive deeper into the pain, to dive deeper into the problem, because you want them to connect emotionally with the problem. People might be logical, but we operate out of emotions. You want them to connect most emotionally with the problem. Once you feel as if they've connected emotionally with the problem, you've identified the problem, they've connected emotionally with it, then R is remedy. You provide a solution to the problem. So you're providing the opportunity to give them a solution. Or let's say you're teaching a part or giving a speech or whatever, you talk about whatever topic you're talking about. Let's give the example of emotional intelligence. Talking about an abstract concept of emotional intelligence. There's going to be some people in the audience, or maybe the one person you're talking to, that just doesn't really get it. And there's no point in going through a 20, 30, 40, 50, 60-minute part if somebody's not going to be fully paying attention. Have you ever given a part where it felt like it fell on deaf ears? You were talking to a brick wall the whole time. They were only half understanding. How frustrating was that? Well, with CPR, you're going to be able to help eliminate that in your life. So once again, you can use this all the time, just like I did just there. So if you're in a speech about emotional intelligence, you can say, have you ever gotten so uncontrollably angry before where you regretted it afterwards? Have you ever said something that you wish you hadn't said to somebody, damaged a relationship by opening your mouth? Or have you ever done something that you regretted out of anger or frustration? What did it feel like when you knew immediately that you couldn't take those words back? What did it feel like when that person responded? How did you feel knowing that you hurt somebody? Well, with what I'm going to talk about today, I can help begin to give you some tools on how to make sure that you begin the journey of becoming a master of your emotions, not only to not blow up on people, but also to save yourself from the pain and frustration of negative emotions. With these simple steps, you'll begin to transform your life, and then boom, you go into your speech. So CPR sets people up. It sells the why. People need to know why they're doing something before they ever want to dive into the how. So hopefully that helps. I encourage you to begin to use CPR everywhere as much as you possibly can in life. And CPR is going to help you be a more effective communicator, a more effective teacher. So go out and start practicing.